All right, back again with Rohan Taylor. How you doing, mate?
Yeah, good, Brett. Yeah, good. Thanks. Just here in Saga, Japan. Got one more week of our staging camp. We'll be here till Friday, and then we'll head over to Fukuoka, which is about an hour on the bus, a little bit over an hour.
Oh, okay. So it's just a bus ride.
Yeah, just a bus ride.
Nice,
So it's very close,
nice.
which is convenient. We're very fortunate to get the access to this place. That's pretty good. It's brand new facility. We're 12 months old. They built this whole sporting complex for the Japanese games next year,
Mm,
and so we've got the whole facility to ourselves as far as the pool goes. So that's been really good.
wow. So in terms of like time zone and kind of ease to get up to Japan, you feel like it's been pretty smooth sailing?
Yeah, look, well, it's only an hour difference from the east coast of Australia,
Mm,
so it's an hour behind. So there's no real issue there. Um, the travel we to get to Fukuoka or to get to Saga, we stayed a night in Tokyo. So we flew in like on a Saturday night, spent the night at the hotel near the airport, and then just flew the next day to
mm,
get in. So it's a little bit longer of a travel than say you'd think. Usually it's just one flight into Japan, but it was fine. And then yeah, probably the main thing here is the heat. It's really humid. We had
really?
the first part of the week was like absolute torrential rain. They had flooding here, and it was really heavy rain,
Mm,
and then very humid, like really warm and humid. So
wow.
yeah, I just need to compensate for that with, as you know, fluid intake and all that stuff. But the humidity's definitely hits you in the face.
Mate, I saw a very special event on social media. It looked like there was a little bit of, where you guys do the presentations of the caps and kind of the first time Australian team members and all that sort of stuff. That's pretty cool, isn't it?
Yeah, so we've got a tradition that gold cap tradition we call it. It's just we have a lunch, or in this case a lunch, or maybe a dinner where we go somewhere different. We have a look at some footage, just a bit of reminiscing of the history of the team.
Mm,
Going back to your days and that, where we just recognize, and we get a few alumni that'll send messages at different times.
mm,
So we get them to give us a message, and then ultimately we get the coaches and the coaches up, and then they present the athletes with their cap. We introduce them by their pin number, and yeah, it's a good day, and it's really nice way. And as you said, the newcomers into the team, it's their first time of being in that environment. So we just want to celebrate the traditions and the history of this team,
yeah.
and connect the current team with that, and that's always a good. Everybody looks forward to it.
Awesome, mate. Yeah, I remember my time going through that. It was just a very special moment. Yeah, you feel very proud representing your country for the first time and the history of the swim team that goes before you. So very cool. In terms of just some of the other behind the scenes, talk to us about culturally. Japan is very different, and so in terms of like food and maybe I remember the beds were even different. The bathrooms are different. So it's like how do you make it more like home so the athletes feel like they're getting nutritionally what they need, maybe even kind of just in terms of sleep, that kind of thing. So how's that all set up?
So probably going back maybe a year where we have our kind of our campaign team that's really our operational manager,
Mm,
Olympic team manager, and performance lead, and they start looking at venues, or we'd already had Saga probably before that, but
mm,
and start just coming over here. We send them over. They do different travel routes to just see which way is the best way to get here. So we start with that, and we start looking at what hotels are the best ones that are closest. And as you know, the Japanese, the rooms can be quite small, and as you said, the beds can be different. So you got to look around and find one that's got a bit more of a Western experience. You also have to have a hotel that will let our dietitian liaise with them around the diet and the needs and all the bits and pieces. We've got a team room here with extra stuff for the athletes that they request. Things
mm,
that we can bring in, and then obviously there's the local supermarkets they can go out and get stuff. So all the rooms have fridges and that, and we like a lot of the kids brought mattress toppers to put on
uh-huh.
the mattresses, and they'll
Gotcha.
bring their own pillows. So
Mm,
we really spent a bit of time updating them on what it's actually the experience is going to be like when they come here, and even
mm,
down to the the cultural rules. You know, you can't walk in the pool. You got to take your shoes off. You know, there's outdoor shoes, there's indoor shoes.
Right.
There's a whole range of things you just have to respect. So like even the guys going into the sauna, using saunas for heat, they have to tape up, you know, cover up their tattoos and things like that. So there's a whole bunch of things that you need to be aware of and you respect, because they're such a beautiful people, and the countries, they're just lovely. It's great. You know, we've done a whole bunch of cultural stuff since we've been here. The city of Saga has just been so you know, welcoming of us, and they're really great. And I'm sure other teams that are staging in Japan somewhere will be getting the same thing from the local community. It's just, they just really love having us here, and we're privileged.
Yeah, it looks really special, man. It looks like a fun time, and you know, everyone seems relaxed, which is good. Now in terms of that, look, you're always going to be compared to the US as the number one team in the world, right? They just went through their trials, and surprisingly, from my perspective, I don't know about for yours, but they swam outstanding, mate. They look really strong. I mean, I thought it was a crazy fast trials. I wasn't expecting it to be as fast across the board. I mean, the US are always deep. There's no doubt about that. But at the top end, they had people coming out left and right, mate. So I don't know how you feel about it, but this is a very good US team.
Oh, look, absolutely. I think it's a strong team. I was looking at some stats. Like, they've got just on the entries, they've got 47 athletes that sit in the top 5 in the entries. Now, we know that that's where the majority of the medals are coming from. So they've positioned themselves really, really well. And yeah, the depth is, you know, they've got a nice spread across it. Obviously they're female. They've got some double ups there, but they're definitely strong. I mean, it's not surprising, you know, like there's always talent coming through, and they get themselves up, and they know how to race, and look, that's what we look forward to. We look forward to the opportunity to go up against them and the other countries that have some unbelievable athletes, you know, and just test ourselves. So we're preparing for that. We want to take our trials results and go better. That's really the aim of us. You know, the individual athletes all have their individual goals, as you know, but for us as a campaign lead, supporting their preparation as a collective. You there?
Yeah, you just dropped out for a second.
I know, it just froze or something happened.
Yeah. No, yeah, keep going.
I was just saying that, you know, our number one priority is to go faster than we did trials. Then we give ourselves the best chance. And then obviously there's the relays. Like we want to qualify our relays for the Olympics. So that's a real, you know, we just had Chelsea Gobeka second in the open water, 10K, unbelievable, great swim, great tactical swim. She's now put herself on the Olympic team. And I can't say enough good things about Chelsea. What a great performance. And then even the rest of the open water team was really strong. So they were able to and they were here with us with the pool team, and they left a few days obviously ago, and we were all preparing together. So it was great to see that. So yeah, so that's a good motivator. But to your point before, like they're the standard bearers, and they've just set another bar, and now we go and go in there, and the relays are the big test for me to see how we stack up. We've got some young guns coming in, you know, these new young guys coming in. That's going to be a great experience for them. So mixing it with some of the experience. So it's going to be good fun.
Man, I remember I was lucky to be part of the team, the last team that was in Fukuoka, that ended up beating the Americans on the gold medal tally. And I know there was some conjecture, some talk back and forward about, well, we didn't win the overall medal count, but we won the gold medal. So there was like, who's the best team? And so at the time, you know, Don Talbot looked at it as who won the most gold medals, and that was us. So how are you looking at this meet in terms of who would come out on top if let's say there was a number one team in the world?
Well, it's funny, you know, when Don would always tell us, you know, and I mean, when I was a coach, there's 3 ways to win a meat, right? Your gold medal, your total medal, and your points. Like he'd always say that. So gold medal obviously is the one. And I think when you look at I'm pretty sure I'm right here, but you can correct me if I'm wrong. But when they look at who wins the meet at the end of a meet, they go by gold medals first, not total medals. So I think gold medals is the standard. I think that's the standard of where a team finishes in relation to being the top performing team, and then obviously total medals. I think you could. There's an argument for that too. So I can see it both ways. But to me, it's all for me. My upbringing within swimming, the Australian team has been gold medals. Get as many as the more you can get, the more you move yourself up.
Yeah. A quick update on one of your superstars. We had talked about Molly O'Callaghan hurting her knee previously before traveling here. Are we able to get an update on it? Is she going to be swimming at the World Championships?
Yeah, she's training. Yeah. Okay. She's had some modified training in the lead up to getting here, but what I've seen here is she's training as per her normal training loads. And we got all this physio medical support around her for whatever she needs around the recovery and that type of stuff. But I haven't seen her doing anything different than I would normally see at this particular point in time. Like maybe going back a few weeks, there was some different modifications just to help her. But she's training well, and she'll be competing. She's not doing the 100 back because that's a bit of a that covers too close to the 2. So they made a choice to just stick with the 2 and that's just basically a programming decision, and I guess a good decision. Good to have that problem where you have multiple events, but that's basically what they're doing. Plus,
I saw that
player in relays.
Right, exactly. Lots of relays. I saw Kyle Chalmers come out and say he's not swimming the 100 fly. How do those decisions? How are they made? Like, does Kyle just make that decision? Does his coach? Do they come to you? Who makes those decisions in the end?
Yeah, well, at the end of the day, it's a choice. Like, I think the question is around looking at the program, looking at what his priorities are. And he put himself, even at the trials, he came up and said, look, I want to put myself in the hat in the ring for the 4x2. I'm going to swim a heat. That's why he swam the heat to post the time and to be considered. And he did. And after all the wash up, he's in there for consideration to be in the 4x2. And then the 100 fly kind of has a crossover there, and I think that was just more which one's more important, and he's a big on the relay. So that was a conversation with Bish and myself and Kyle and particularly just Bish, but they came back and said, look, this is what we want to do, and that's fine, done. We'll support that.
Right. You mentioned the relays a second ago. What does it mean to qualify the relays? What do you have to do for the relays and to qualify for the final?
To qualify for the Olympics. For the Olympics. Yeah. So the process is if you get on the podium in Fukuoka, you will be guaranteed automatic.
Okay.
If you're not, you've got 2 options. You can sit on your time and hope that 13 other teams outside of the other 3, that 13 other teams don't go faster than you at Doha, or you can go to Doha and you could try to go quicker if you feel you need to go quicker. So I think in the wash up, when we finish the meet, we'll look at our relay performances and we'll assess if we don't podium in some relays. Obviously, we'll look at those and think, okay, do we need to can we get a better team together by Doha, for instance? And that'll be the question we'll ask ourselves, and that'll inform us on our Doha team. But the Doha team will be basically relay priority where if we need it. And then after that, it'll be the athletes that are on this team, they're making finals. They got priority to take the spot for Doha, and then it'll just trickle down from there. And then if there's open spots for that are available, we've got the ability for people to qualify from, say, Australia A, World Cups, out all the way out to Queensland States and a few other meets. So we can pick up some other athletes down the track if there are spots available. And at the moment, there's some that are pretty committed to going to Doha, but there's a lot that are kind of like, let's just see. So I think it could be a team it could be a pretty small team, to be perfectly honest. I don't think it's going to be too big.
Yeah. I know you got to run in a sec. I appreciate all of your time here. So thanks. I was chatting with Cam McAvoy earlier. I'm just throwing this question out just randomly. Here we go. So, but I was a 50 freestyle on the team once, and I know how different at this point of the training a 50 freestyle would train to, let's say, a 4am or a 1500 freestyle. Anybody that's kind of going through the camp situation now, and also Cam's kind of an older athlete. So like, how is that taken into account when we're going through a camp like this? Is Cam left on his own to say, you do whatever you need to do to get ready? Or is there a little bit of like, hey, you need to do team stuff now? Like, how does it all fit in for you?
Yeah, so it's a good question because you'll reflect back on your time and some of the stuff you had to do, and you tried to. Yeah, it's purely down to Tim Lane's been here on the staging camp with him as his home coach, working with Adam Cable, who's a team coach that'll take Cam through the competition. We work with the coaches it's a quick turnaround, but off trials we sit with the coaches. Jess Coronis is our performance lead. She works with the coaches around their training plans and what they need. So effectively, what pool space they need, when they need it, gym. So effectively, the whole camp preparation is designed around what Cam needs. So he'll go to the pool when he needs to go and train when he needs to train based on his preparation. That's basically, it's all about what the athlete needs, the coach's plan. So it's pretty much whatever Cam's preparing for. Any team things we do won't be training related. Now we do relay changeover stuff when people are needed for that. But outside of that, we had a kind of a group warm up when we first got here, but it was a bit just a loosener, just kind of the stretch and everything. And those that got in the pool swam together. But that was about the only thing we've done. Coaches will mix it during the camps. They'll mix training up, and but yeah, Cam. Will exactly what he needs to do. There's no compromise to his preparation, nor is there for Kyle, nor there is there for Emma or anyone else. It's exactly what they need to do. The only compromises will come, Brett, when there's a facility like we had to train outdoors on what day was it? Monday last week, and we had lightning come through, and we had to get everybody out of the pool. So the pool wasn't available, and then we kind of like just quickly figured out how, because we couldn't get in the indoor pool that day. So we basically people had to make up sessions down the track if they needed to. And that's probably the only time that'll disrupt anyone's specific plans.
Yeah, it makes
but it's
sense.
Funny. I just got to tell the story. I was talking about the difference in training for 50s with a few of the coaches, and Tim in particular. And we're laughing. I was saying, I remember I was in 99. I was in Colorado Springs at altitude with Hawke and watching him do a 2K time trial and shaking his head, and we were all waving him on. We're waving you on, and you're giving us the finger.
Man, I remember it.
You were doing at altitude a 2K time trial, and I think Fides was doing a 3K time trial.
Oh yeah, that's right. Fides were just eating me up.
Soto was there with all his heart rate monitors, and we were like. Oh, but yeah, so I don't see Cam doing a 2K time trial.
No,
but we used to do step tests. Remember, you used to do step tests 14 days out. Talbot would have everybody do a 7-200 step test.
Yeah,
everyone.
Yeah, everybody's doing the same thing. I'm like, oh man, I'm glad times have changed. People don't realize how bad it was to be a sprinter back 25 years ago.
No, it's very different. That's absolutely for sure. But it's only Boley and Vince and myself were really the ones that were around the Nugget. We just reminisce about it.
Times have changed.
Remember those days?
Yeah. Is Cam being considered at all for a relay spot or not, or is he just looking at the 50?
He's got the 50 fly, kind of mixes with the 4x1 free. I think. Look, at the end of the day, like at this point, no, but he's got the 50 free down the track. But I definitely think it's something that. He would, I think, consider going forward, and I hope so. But right now, just get that 50 and work on that. But I'm enjoying watching how he trains too, because it is a very unique approach, and I think it's you learn from anything like this. So for us, it's something we can learn from, which is exciting.
For sure, yeah, he's doing some really cool stuff. I wish I was there watching him actually. So, big fan of what he's doing. But all right, last question then. Just how overall, how's the camp gone? Is everything fallen into place for you think?
Yeah, it's been pretty good. I think, as I said before, maybe the weather at the beginning was a bit of a deterrent for that one day, and then it kind of turned into a long day for us, just more for management, because they're running around trying to fix everything up. As far as the way that the team's been operating, it's a smaller team, so than we've had, not much smaller, but it is a bit smaller. So they've seemed to be enjoying themselves, and the vibe's good. It's good. Looking forward to getting into Fukuoka and getting into it.
I love it, mate. Good stuff. Well, I appreciate the check-in, and look, I hope everything goes well over the next week, and can't wait to get this thing going, man. It's going to be a pretty fun championship, I think. Even with all the people that have pulled out, I think the ones that are there are going to make this thing really exciting.
Yeah, just looking at the psych sheet, going through and just working through all the different events and looking at the obviously the matchups is really fun part. There's some races that are going to be really cool matchups, and obviously a lot of them have to do with our athletes, but there are some that don't, that I'm interested in seeing. So good.
Yeah, awesome. Listen, just
right,
let Boxall do his thing too. Let him go. Just let him do his thing. All right.
Hey, I do. He's yeah, absolutely. No, he's got a big team, so big group in here. So watching him do his thing is quite fun.
Yeah.
But yeah, we all get in there and give him a hand when we need to. So that's always good. He doesn't mind putting us to work, which is great.
Awesome.
So happy to help where I can.
Well, good luck. Hey, listen, pass on my best wishes to the team for me, please. All right.
Will do, buddy. Will do.
Right.
Be well.
Cheers, mate. Take care. Bye.
See you, mate.